Good morning, friends. I'm glad to have you back. This morning I kind of wanted to bring you outside and give you a small tour of what I'm doing. It is early morning and planting hasn't quite started yet. I've been hardening off my seedlings, and there's a couple things that I've planted in my green stalks. My strawberries are making it a comeback. And so I just kind of wanted to take you around and give you like the first tour of the garden for this season. And my hair is crazy and I have no makeup on, and I'm a little bit dressed because I have to take my daughter to the orthodontist, so this will have to be a fairly short tour. But I thought I would just have you come along. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I would ask that you please subscribe and like the video. That helps me very much in growing the channel. Also, if you really enjoy or at least have gotten something out of the videos about starting seeds and potting up, or what you want to, you want to start a garden, like, let me know. I'm excited to grow along with you. So right now I'm on my back deck, and my back deck is basically where I harden off seedlings. My original garden actually used to be back here, and I will show you what we used. It's moved right now. But right now, let me show you the seedlings that are hardening off, and then we'll go and we'll walk in the garden with some coffee and talk. So right here are all my seedlings I'm hardening off right at the moment. That lettuce leaf basil's looking a little sad. I think it might need some warmth because it's a little chilly. But we've got lots of tomato plants popping up. Some pepper plants, those back here. These pepper plants are amazing. We potted those up together. We have some more tomato plants over here. My basil this year did not do well. And what happened or why, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with my soil that I used. What's funny is the soil, we use the same soil to pot up all of my pepper plants and my herbs. But the herbs and peppers that I did after I got back from being in Pennsylvania with family, they did terribly. But everything I potted before that, they've done wonderfully. So I don't know what happened. All right, let me show you around. So I planted some chives in these when I first got them, and mint over here. Mint you want to plant in containers. Mint is a bully. It will take over your garden if you are not careful. So one of these days I'm probably going to go through here and refresh these, clean these up, maybe spray paint them some. But this was a gift from a friend and I have loved them. I love coming out and just smelling basil, because basil, like, let me put my coffee down. Please don't fall, coffee. Mint is like, I love to do that and just smell my fingers. That was a little put on. Okay. Now, last year I had my bucket garden here. So this year I actually this was at the end of last year, I purchased some wheels and drainage pipe to put on my green stalks so that the water isn't draining onto the wood but out. And so I moved these down here, and I decided that I'm going to kind of keep an eye and keep things closer to me while I can see the green stalks, because they were up there last year. While I can see them from inside, I like being able to just pop over and grab stuff, and they get enough sun. And now that they're on the wheels, we'll move them. See, I've got some strawberries coming. This one actually is getting a little bit of blush on it. I don't know if you can see. Ignore my nails. They're looking a little ratchet. So, but as you can see. And then this one is empty right now. I would like to go and get some local flowers, or what I mean by local flowers, I mean a local greenhouse, and grab flowers for this. And then I have some cinnamon basil that's looking pretty bad. It was looking bad in its container. Whoops, sorry. Cinnamon basil was looking really bad in its container inside. So I thought I would just go ahead and throw it in here and see what we can do with it. I already have some eggplant. This is Turkish eggplant that I got from M.I. Gardener. Here's some lettuce leaf basil. It's looking a little droopy. I think it might be the cold. And another Turkish eggplant. And so we get a little bit of sun over here. I think it will be fine. I've planted stuff over in this corner before in this green stalk, the stone colored one, and it flourished and did wonderfully. So I think we'll do pretty well. I'll probably do some more herbs in this one and maybe even some pepper plants if I have extras. My peppers, again, I said my pepper's the greatest. So we'll see. All right, so now we're gonna go out to the no-dig garden in the front yard. And let me just, right now I don't have a gate on the garden. And the light might be a little too bright out here, but we're gonna try it anyway. The gate is gonna go on this arch. It comes with a gate. I'm actually gonna hold on because the neighbor is over there. You know what? I'm not worried about it. So I moved this flag. The flag last year was one of the things that I used as a gate, as well as this chalkboard. This has kept the deer out, mostly out. This year, the deer have decided to eat parts of my clematis, which is weird because they have never done that before. But the clematis I'm trying to train to go up and over my arch. So eventually I'd really like to plant climbing roses, but I haven't been able to do that yet. All right, so we're gonna go in once. Oh, so one of the reasons why the gate is not on here yet is because I have a couple stumps that need pulled out, and I'm gonna get that taken care of here soon, but it just hasn't happened yet. So anyways, so we're gonna walk into the garden, and right here is my bucket garden. Now I have taken out the soil that's in there. I'm planning on refreshing all of this and growing alongside with you guys to show you how to do some container gardening. But these were very, in my opinion, simple to make. My dad, my husband, and my eldest son put the holders together, and obviously we just got 5-gallon buckets from the local hardware, Lowe's, and then we drilled some holes in it, and I'll show you how to fill those so that you're not using a ton of soil, and also they're not too heavy. And then, so over here I have different blueberry bushes in, and they're just in the grow bags right now because I'm not quite sure where I want to establish them, but the plan is to actually have them established in this garden so that the deer are kept out, because the fence has helped keep those deer out. And so here I have a few cabbages in the ground. Now granted, it has been so hot lately. I'm definitely late on getting these in for our area, but I've never grown cabbage from seed before. So it was several into some seed starting trays, and they turned out really well. So probably in the future I will make sure that I get those done faster. But I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm a fairly new gardener, and everything I'm doing is an experiment. So I'm really pleased with what's happening. So let me show you station. I've got some peas popping up over here. These are just like sugar magnolia peas, and I'm gonna train them up this trellis here that was left by the previous owners. And hopefully we'll get some peas out of this. I just love little snacking peas. This, basically what this is is what I'll eat in the garden while I'm out here working. And then I have an onion's an onion, a tomato's a tomato, but a pea is a relief, which was my late grandfather's favorite saying. So I'm excited about it. You'll notice the fire pit, that's not staying. What I'm hoping to do is plant sunflowers in here. Hopefully, I mean, if these cabbages keep growing, which I'm afraid it's going to get too hot for them, if they keep growing, the sunflower seeds are going to get put in basically this general area where the fire pit is. But we'll see. Everything is contingent. I have little ideas here and there. But back here where the T-posts are, last year we had our tomatoes, and I'll probably do the same again and Florida weave them. We did Florida weave last year and away in Texas, and came home to an out of control garden because it had rained and gotten hot, and they were happy tomatoes, but they were very difficult to corral. So hopefully this year I can get them in and get them weaved properly so that they'll and pruned so we can get some airflow in there. I'm probably gonna put, is this an egg? Hold on, I gotta show. That looks like a robin's egg. I think that is. We're gonna stay away from that. Got kicked out of the nest and it's probably not gonna survive, but that's pretty cool. Okay. Anyways, I'm probably gonna do, I have a ton of tomato plants. If you're local to me and I have any left over, I have 2 people that I've promised plants to, but I'll probably have enough to give away. So my plan is, make sure I'm not stepping on anything, to grow cucumbers up these trellises. My eldest son has begged and begged and begged for me to pickle lots and lots of pickles, lots of cucumbers, make lots of pickles for the foreseeable future. So he and I are going to plant quite a bit of cucumber plants. All right, so I'm going to come out because right now the garden is only fenced in part of the area here. And that is because this was last year's garden. We've expanded it, but we need to go and get fencing and put it back up here. So, my thoughts in leaving the crepe myrtles is that this garden gets a lot of sun. And so what I want to do is give my pepper plants some shade. And what I'm hoping is pepper plants love heat, but they hate the sun. They get sunburned very, very easily. And so my plan is to plant pepper seeds or pepper plants back here and give them a little bit of shade from the crepe myrtles once they finally start filling in. We'll see if that works. If not a big deal. Everything's an experiment. Everything is an experiment, and that is just like the way I live my life with the garden, because I'm such a new gardener. In my opinion, I'm still learning. And even if I wasn't, I feel like even experienced gardeners are always learning. You know, if you want to be really good at your craft, no matter what it is that you're doing, you should always be willing to learn. And you should, even if you are quote unquote an expert, I think it's a wise thing to say, you know, I could probably do better, and always be learning. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to gardening and it comes to anything, quite frankly, even with like maintaining a home and being a mom and being a homeschool mom. I think it's just a wise thing to always be willing to learn. So, one of the reasons why I think I've been successful to a degree with gardening is because, well, when I gather a whole bunch of information from a lot of places, I too talk to my seedlings, sing to them, And I also pray over them, which probably for some people sounds really weird and strange. And I don't care if that's how you think I am, is weird and strange. But that is what I do. And it helps. I truly believe it. I truly believe it helps. Let me see if I can set you here. I really think that, one, I believe that the Lord wants and desires for us to be successful in the garden, but also that He wants to know the desires and wishes of our hearts. And it's one of the reasons why I pray over my food that I'm growing, because the desire and wish of my heart is to provide food for my family, and nutritious food that isn't from a store, that, well, even if I could buy it in the store, that I know how it was grown, that I know what fertilizers or no fertilizer, or well, I use fertilizer, but what type of fertilizer, and also I don't use any pesticides or bugs. I basically, or bugs, I think you know what I mean, or any type of herbicide or anything like that. I'm constantly praying over the food. But even still, I think one of the wise things is that you grow, if you can, you start as many seeds as you can, because inevitably, you're going to have failure, and it happens. And I feel like this year I had a ton of failure, but honestly, it may not even be any more than I've had in the past. It's just that I started a lot this year, because the garden grew a lot this year, meaning size-wise. It doubled in length, but did not double in width. So it doubled in length. So I think, people think, oh, you're such a great gardener, and I'm not. I just grow a lot. So there are failures, and I have like a whole tray full of seedlings that either petered out and just didn't do anything, or just didn't grow. So it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. And I think you just have to roll with the punches and learn from your mistakes and move on. And that can be said of anything in life. You roll with the punches, learn from your mistakes, and move on. So I wasn't planning on this being like some type of, heart to heart, but it's kind of turning into that. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you like a little layout of what the garden is going to look like this year. I'm still kind of formulating things in my head. I basically know where I'm putting my cucumbers. I basically know where I'm putting my peppers. And I basically know where I'm putting my tomatoes. And obviously my peas are already started. When it gets way too hot, those won't do anything. They'll burn. But for now, they're happy and they'll grow. I have squash that I want to do. I'll probably do like maybe one zucchini plant, because in all honesty, I do not need more than one zucchini plant. Two at the most. Zucchini is so prolific, but one of the issues that we do have is the vine borers. So the squash vine borer, and it will come in and it'll just decimate your plants. So the idea is to plant one, and if I really want more, maybe plant another. But we eat zucchini, but we're not like big prolific zucchini eaters. I also have some tromboncino squash. But I need to get a trellis for that. And if I don't get a trellis in, I'm not sure if I'll grow it this year. We have a lot of expenses in trying to get some more fencing. So I'm kind of just building my garden as I can. One of the things that I absolutely love about Roots and Refuge Farm, if you are not following them and you are a gardener, I suggest that you do, because Jess Sowards is amazing. when it comes to discussing the beauty of the garden and creating a space that you want to be in. And that's like one of the things that I have latched onto when it comes to growing food. Yes, I want the garden to be productive, and I want it to feed my family, but I also don't want to feel like I'm laboring out there all the time. And one of the reasons why I do a no dig is because it's much easier to weed if necessary. Sometimes I don't even get weeds. I do have some weeds out there I'm going to have to go and pull. But also, like, the beauty of a garden just kind of woos you. Like, it like brings you in and it envelops you. And I think a lot of that is because it's the beauty of God's creation that just kind of like sucks you in. And so one of the reasons why I have the beautiful arch, and I have the gate, and I have the lights. I love lights. I think lights in the garden are just magical. And so at night, it looks really pretty lit up, and I will probably forever be that weird lady in the neighborhood who has lights all over her garden and like gnomes and rocks. And obviously now I have a bucket garden in my in-ground garden. I'm just gonna be that. That's who I am. I'm okay with it. I've completely embraced it. The garden flags, I've noticed not only are they pretty, but they actually deter the deer from getting into things that I don't want them getting into. And they don't like movement. Deer tend to get a little bit spooked by things that they can't see and items that are in their way that are moving, and the garden flags have done that tremendously for me. And other things that are in beds around the house that the previous owners, like there is a hosta and an azalea that the deer had eaten alive. I honestly thought that they had killed my azalea in the one bed in the back over here. And just randomly, they also every year have eaten the hosta back. And I just kind of gave up on it because I thought, well, I don't know why you would plant this when you know that the deer are prolific in this area. So I just was like, all right, well, it is what it are, like my grandfather would say. So I basically randomly stuck a garden flag there, and the hosta came up and it flowered because the deer were too spooked to go anywhere near it and eat it. And my azalea came back roaring with beautiful, beautiful blooms for 2 years now. So both of those things have been actually living because the deer won't touch them because of the flag that I just randomly stuck there one day. So that is why I have kept the flags out in my garden. I'll probably continue to do that because the deer have been the worst offender of killing things in my garden and in my beds. So they destroyed an elderberry bush that I had planted and did not protect, which I should have known, but I just didn't. I am rooting some cuttings right now for elderberry bush, and those will go in the garden once I have a definite plan laid out for where I want to keep them. So I think the goal is at some point to also put some raspberry bushes out there, but I'm not there yet. That's down the line. There's lots of things down the line, and I'll continue to dream and think about all the things I want to grow and eat. But for now, it's mainly peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and peas and beans. I'll have to put some beans in. My beans did not do well last year, but that was my own fault. So I planted them too close, too late. I'll have to put them out soon in the garden, some bush beans. I have these Chinese red noodle beans that like grow You can trellis them and they hang and they look really cool. But I'm trying to not cause my husband a ton of grief when it comes to trellising. And I love him and he loves me, but I have to continue to make sure I don't upset him anymore. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed the little tour. There's not a whole lot growing. I hope that some of this was helpful, just seeing what's out there and what's, what I'm doing. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're looking to learn more about something, please ask and I'll shoot a video. Also, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope you join me next time when we, hopefully I'll get started on those containers in the front yard here soon. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me.